Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. Jaydeep Bhattacharya, Prithvi, and many more who are all online. Today we are going to have a relatively short session, but I don't want to miss the time. I had a little temptation to postpone it to 7 p.m. But I thought, let me take a short class. If possible, once more in the later part of the night, I will try to take a little more extended class. So, but the whole idea is every day we all meet, we all sit together, we all do the revision so that you are all motivated and we all become the classmates every day and with a goal. 3 weeks gynocs, 2 weeks surgery, 1 week anatomy, 1 week physiology. Like that, we will keep the goals. So please go to the onlinemmbbs.com and see the schedule of the next 26 weeks, where in about 250 hours, we are all going to study together to master the most commonly tested items in the NEET PG 2021 and also in FMGE. So let's make the great beginning. Good to see 18 classmates. Ram Sundaram, Jennifer, Jitendra, and Dharmendra. Pura Bollywood is with us today. Prashant, Biswas, and everybody. Now, Doctor. The opening topic for today, keep punching the answers, doctor, continuing our journey in obstetrics and gynecology. We finished already 553 questions, continuing the legacy. What are the ultrasonographic fetal growth parameters out of all this? So we should remember biparietal diameter, head circumference, femur length. Very good. Pavan Verma and many more, you have rightly answered. Good to see Neha. So I'm so happy Neha joining the session. So I told Neha is a brilliant student. In fact, she is the daughter of my very good friend and junior, Dr. Rekha. I remember those days where Rekha, my junior in medical college, Dr. Rekha, when she joined MBBS only, she already has a child. So she has a high willpower to become a winner. So I still remember hand-holding to inspire Dr. Rekha to take up, in spite of kids, family, to get into a dream specialty. So today, Dr. Rekha is an eminent obstetrician in Sholapur, and her husband is a district collector there, commissioner. And I have a privilege of being a mentor for 2 generations of Dr. Neha and also Rekha. So I want Neha, who is genetically that high, strong-willed genes are there with you, and you should become topper and show me that to the world that you emulate the success that Rekha has created. So with that initial pep talk, let us take up. So doctor, in which week transvaginal sonography can detect the gestational sac? Very interesting question. Very important question. Numerical that you need to remember. By 4th week, if you do transvaginal sonography, you can detect the gestational sac. Now, the best parameter for estimation of the fetal age by ultrasound in the 3rd trimester. What is the best parameter? So keep punching your answers, doctor. Uma Shankar proposes abdominal circumference. Prithvi Muniya Swami proposes femur length. Neha, Dharmendra, everyone is strong about femur length. Absolutely, femur length. So doctor, you have to be very sure which trimester. If you see the most recent AIMS June 2020 question paper, so many standard stock questions, easy to crack, almost 80% question paper, khelte you can be able to answer. So doctor, first trimester, commonly performed at 9 to 12 weeks. Second trimester scan is being performed typically between 18 to 20 weeks, and 3rd trimester at 36 weeks. Now, what parameters do you use in first trimester? The mean gestational sac diameter, MSD, and the crown rump length. And if you look at crown rump length, between one gynecologist, other obstetrician, and one obstetrician, other, inter-observer variability is less with crown rump length compared to that of the mean gestational sac diameter. Then yolk sac. If the yolk sac appears in the gestational sac, it is a confirmation that it is an intrauterine pregnancy, and it is initially visible as early as 5th week or as late as 6th week. Now it grows to a maximal size of 6 millimeters by 10 weeks and gradually migrates to the periphery of chorionic cavity. By the end of the first trimester, you can't see yolk sac. So doctor, this is the gestational sac, and this is the bladder, and this is the uterus in which you are able to see the gestational sac and calculate its diameter. Now, in the first trimester scan, you can also identify the number of fetuses. So 2 gestational sacs, each containing yolk sac. That's what you're able to see in this given case of the twins. So, in the first trimester, you will also evaluate the uterus, adnexal structures, how are they, and identify the gestational sac, embryo, etc., etc. Now coming to the crown rump length. What is the meaning of crown rump length? The longest straight line length of the embryo from the outer margin of the cephalic end to the rump is called as crown rump length. And you need to do multiple measures in order to get a satisfactory value. Typically, crown rump length is calculated between 7 to 13 weeks. And at 7 to 10 weeks, it can give an estimate with plus or minus 3 days. 10 to 14 weeks, it can give with an accuracy of plus or minus 5 days, the gestational age. So, after you calculated crown rump length plus 6.5, it is the gestational age in weeks. So, gestational age in weeks is equal to crown rump length plus 6.5. This is another favorite MCQ of the examiner. Be very sure about it, doctor. So, when you are attending these sessions, take a 200 pages notebook रखना. Almost whatever that we discuss in our 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. daily live online class, only what is tested in entrance exam only we will discuss. So that is the reason, of course, all these PowerPoints, video, everything is available for a replay in the onlinembbs.com video library. But still, for you to last moment revision ke liye, everybody should carry their own 200 pages notebook. Barabar? So now, doctor, second and third trimester, what are the parameters? BPD, head circumference, abdominal circumference, and femur length. These are the most important parameters. So biparietal diameter is less reliable, especially when skull shape is dolichocephaly, brachycephaly, etc., etc. So that is the reason BPD is considered to be less reliable than head circumference. So if you take all these 4 parameters, BPD versus head circumference versus abdominal circumference versus femur length, which is most reliable of all in the second and third trimester. So you should remember, head circumference is the single best parameter that correlates with the gestational age compared to the all other 3 standard parameters in the second trimester. But beyond the second trimester, as the gestational age is increasing, once more head circumference becomes less reliable parameter. Then 1-2 comments on abdominal circumference. It is sometimes challenging to measure the fetal abdominal circumference because if it is a bone, there is a bright echo. The abdomen has no bright echoes. It is not always symmetrical, and its size will keep varying with the fetal respiration. And the fetus love to play Olympics inside the womb. So it's a little challenging. So if an MCQ is asked, of all the parameters, which has the greatest variability, please don't forget, this is a favorite MCQ of examiner. The greatest variability and dependent on many fetal growth factors and body position, that is abdominal circumference, and most reliable, head circumference. Then coming to femur length, it varies with ethnicity. I mean, it all depends. Are you African, American, European, etc., etc. So, biparietal diameter and head circumference, these are the 2 things you should remember. The head circumference, these are the 2 important parameters in second and third trimester. Now, BPD, biparietal diameter, when is the greatest accuracy? This is a straight away favorite MCQ. 12 to 28 weeks, and it is better when the age is more than 14 weeks. So what should be included for you while measuring the head circumference? Will you measure here, 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 where? So it is the septum pellucidum, thalamus. These are all the important benchmarks. Choroid plexus in the lateral ventricles. These are the things that are taken into consideration while calculating the biparietal diameter. Then what is head circumference? Head circumference is biparietal diameter plus occipitofrontal diameter into 1.62 is considered to be the calculation for the head circumference is what you need to ultimately remember. Now coming to abdominal circumference. Where will you calculate abdominal circumference? Abdomen is a big structure, right? Where you want to calculate. So stomach, portal vein, and the spine in a true transverse plane. And the ribs may or may not be seen. And between 18 to 20 weeks, abdomen should be a circle. And typically the baby should be supine or lateral. So these are the precautions while calculating the abdominal circumference. So umbilical vein, stomach, and the spine. The moment these three, the spine, umbilical vein, and the stomach, once you see all of them, that is the point where you have to, you are like a darji, tailor, to immediately check the abdominal circumference. So this is a quick story about the various parameters in the antenatal ultrasonographic assessment of the fetus, one of the favorite topics of the examiner. Now, doctor, transvaginal ultrasound, when will it detect cardiac activity? Like a parrot in the exam, you should answer 6 weeks. Now, examiner will give you one umbilical artery Doppler. So all these exams are what? Image-based exam. So that's the reason you have to be 100% sure about it. So doctor, once more, I want to remind you and invite you, all of you, to become part of this very interesting site. Yes. So every day, my job is to remind you. So, yes. So, yeah. So this is called incus.live. Incus.live. So please take every opportunity to register yourself to this incus.live. So once you come to the incus.live, it's a free entry. It is like a Facebook for medical students, for any student for that matter. So see, one of the student, Vivek, has uploaded a handwritten notes, right? And you can also upload a good handwritten notes. And before the class starts, we will also put up a scheduled class notification in this. Then what is most important, interesting in this is you have groups just like Facebook, but it is our Facebook, right? So you have the various groups like anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, etc. You too can start a group. So once you get into this group, for example, physiology, if you come to physiology, then you have the questions posted along with the answer. Almost 2,000 questions, MCQs, in each subject are being posted. You too can post some nice questions in this particular subject, and everyone will be able to discuss. And those questions where you want more explanation also you can post. So you have almost 30,000 questions are now getting posted. in all the 20 subjects. Everything free, no worries at all, right? So be part of incus.life. Enjoy. You can also become friend with others. You can poke others to become friend. So there are events, discussion forums, everything made available in the incus.live. So please take a chance. So the whole idea is how much we are all motivated, right? So that is very, very important winning secret for the entrance exam. Yes. So I want all of you to take one quick look into incus.live and also keep contributing a lot of questions, handwritten notes, images. Of course, there are so many Telegram groups, etc., but nothing can beat a discussion forum, Facebook-like ecosystem where you have a greater liberty to post, search, and make friends. Now, umbilical artery Doppler is a very common thing given. So, can the Doppler of the umbilical artery can help you to recognize and treat intrauterine growth retardation? Definitely. There is something called reversed end diastolic velocity in the umbilical artery flow pattern. If you observe, the reversed end diastolic velocity is a strong indication of placental insufficiency. And if there is an absent or reversal of the end diastolic flow pattern in umbilical artery, what does it indicate? It indicates intraventricular hemorrhage, bronchopulmonary dysplasia, and perinatal mortality is what I want to underscore to all of you. So now let us look into the real game, the real appearances, so that tomorrow when the examiner asks the question, image-based question, you have to be 100% sure about. Absent or reversal of end diastolic flow, that poses a risk to the neonate. More admissions into NICU, increased intracerebral hemorrhage, anemia, hypoglycemia, permanent neurological damage, etc., etc. So this is called a high resistance flow pattern. And here there is almost a reversal. So this is a reversal of diastolic flow. So if you look at the umbilical artery Doppler, this is the normal flow pattern. Normal flow pattern. And this is a decreased end diastolic flow. Decreased end diastolic flow. And this is called a reversal of end diastolic flow in the umbilical artery Doppler. So this is a gentle systolic peak, a good diastolic flow, and there is no early diastolic notch. So this is all normal flow pattern. Whereas this is called a poor diastolic flow pattern. Please compare this with this. You are able to get it? Then this is called early diastolic notch. So normally diastolic flow is supposed to be like this, but suddenly a notch is being created. Notch. Got it? So that is what you need to recognize. So once more you can see here, there is a reversal of flow. Reversal of flow. Diastolic reversal of flow, which is a ominous sign. Now, the ultrasound Doppler parameter used for IUGR, many times this question is asked. Doppler velocimetry, increased diastolic velocity in the middle cerebral artery, ponderal index, they are all the important parameters to suggest IUGR. So basically, how many types of IUGR do you know, doctor? How many types of IUGR? Please inform your friends. See, every day 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Dr. Murali Bharadwaj, whether you have time or not, I have time, right, to spend with all of you. So please tell your friends that शाम 6 बजे होते ही हमको मिलेगा चाय पे चर्चा, right? So at the end of this session, you should come to some conclusions. Okay, guys, great feeling now. This is all what I learned. These are the few pages, important notes that I got. And I am inspired to go back and we have more extensive discussion, more MCQs discussed in the online MBBS.com video library, right? So any video library or a book is a very static thing. What is active is live discussion. Whether it is face-to-face or live online, आजकल तो कोरोना के जमाने में nobody has a face-to-face other. So live online and a community of classmates. So every day if you are studying together, we all are studying together. Next 6 months, doctor, beautiful time is there for you, right? So don't dishearten. And if some topper said, मैंने मेडिटेशन किया पूरा दिन जपमाला पकड़ के पढ़ रहा हूं इसलिए सीट आया, बोले तो बकवास है. It's a fake orgasm. Nobody can be that disciplined at the age of 23, 24. All of us have enough deviations. किसी का सिस्टर का शादी है, किसी का ब्रदर का कॉलेज है, किसी के डैडी से को हॉस्पिटल को ले जाना है. Some or the other things definitely will bring a break in our schedule. Or some night duties will be there. Because of that, there can be a break. But that should not stop you. Before you go to sleep, close the eyes and remember, you are going to become the topper. When you wake up in the morning, you think for 2 minutes, today I'm going to do good, I'm going to study, I am going to be the topper. Next 6 months, be determined, be perseverant, at least a couple of hours study with Dr. Murali, right? And that is the simple secret formula to become a winner. Okay? So, symmetrical, asymmetrical. That's the reason tell your friends. Our students are our best brand ambassadors. Please post the YouTube channel in your WhatsApp, Telegram, classmates, groups, and wherever social groups where you are. So, symmetrical, they are uniformly small. Then head circumference to abdomen circumference or fetal length to abdomen circumference is normal, and typically symmetrical IUGR is a feature of chromosomal anomalies. Asymmetrical, fetal abdomen is disproportionately small and there is a head sparing effect. That's the reason head circumference will be more than abdominal circumference. And if you take a ratio of head circumference to abdominal or fetal length to abdominal circumference, typically the value is elevated. And that is called asymmetrical IUGR. So what are the ultrasonographic criteria for you to diagnose IUGR? Fatafat bolo, like a parrot. Elevated head CAC ratio, because there is a head sparing effect. Abdominal circumference is small, but head is not affected. That has a very good positive predictive value. Elevated ratio of femur length to abdominal circumference. Presence of oligohydramnios without any rupture of membranes. And so there is something called placental grading of IUGR. So advanced placental grade is also an indicative of diagnosing IUGR. So there is something called fetal biophysical profile. Fetal tone, fetal movements, breathing movements, amniotic fluid, fetal heart rate. There all the components are accordingly you have score 0, 1 and 2. So typically a score of 6 or below is considered to be frankly abnormal. Scores of 7 and 8 are considered suspicious. Is what you need to remember. Then if it is a twin pregnancy, what is an indication of an IUGR? A inter-twin growth discrepancy of 20 to 25% is considered to be significant. Similarly, twin transfusion syndrome, color Doppler findings. So they're all important things that you need to look for in case of multiple pregnancy. Now let us look at the Doppler waveform. How do you analyze a Doppler waveform? Pulsatility index, resistance index, systolic diastolic ratio. These are all the quantitative analytical indices of the Doppler waveform analysis. Whereas qualitatively, you'll be looking for uterine artery. Is there any presence or absence of an early diastolic notch? That is what you look for. So, doctor, typically, when you look at the Doppler waveform, this peak that happens is called A. Then, from the baseline, the diastolic fall when it happens, this is called B. So, A by B ratio means A by B. Resistance index is A minus B by A. Pulsatility index means A minus B by mean value. So this is how the indices are all calculated. So if you look at the anatomy, uterine arteries branch into arcuate arteries. Arcuate arteries branch into spiral arteries within the myometrium. So, as a pregnancy advances, the trophoblastic invasion of the uterine spiral arteries occur. They dilate, and that causes a fall in the resistance of blood flow. In case of a non-pregnant woman, the uterine blood flow is 50 ml per minute. And it will increase to 700 ml per minute by the time you enter into third trimester. So that is the reason, if it is a normal pregnancy, the diastolic component of the waveform typically is a low peak flow velocity, early diastolic notch, which is in the non-pregnant state, will get converted into a high flow with no diastolic notch by 18 to 22 weeks. So, low peak flow velocity with the early diastolic notch means if the blood is going slowly like a traffic jam in New Delhi or Hyderabad, that become high flow with no diastolic notch when the pregnancy reaches 18 to 21 weeks. So instead of having no diastolic notch, if a diastolic notch develops, means once more traffic jam ho gaya, low flow. That is a sign of IUGR, is what you need to remember. And a pulsatility index normally is less than 1.2. One of the favorite questions. Pulsatility index in a normal pregnancy is less than 1.2. And the pulsatility index will be more than 1.45 with bilateral notches. That is a sign of uteroplacental vascular ischemia, is what you have to emphatically remember. So a normal artery Doppler form typically looks like this. This is the diastolic flow, and there is no notch. But a notch developing, early diastolic notch developing with a decreased diastolic flow is suggestive of a high resistance pattern, seen in the case of the IUGR is what you need to remember. So this is a normal uterine artery at 22 weeks. This is the external iliac artery, the uterine artery. This is the peak diastole and this is the peak systole, and there is no diastolic notch. Whereas if there is an IUGR, there is an abnormal diastolic flow, in fact reversal, and the presence of a notch is highly indicative. Similarly, pulsatility index, the uterine artery pulsatility index, how it varies with the gestation, you need to have a quick understanding. So, fetal hypoxemia, fetal acidemia, how will you recognize on the umbilical artery Doppler? Absent end-diastolic frequency, reversal of end-diastolic frequency, they are the two important indications. So this is the uterine vein, this is the uterine artery, and this is the typical blood flow pattern. And this is called absent flow, diastolic flow, which is supposed to be here, it is absent. And in fact, there is a reversal of the flow. So this is the abnormal pattern. So then, what are the other arteries where you want to look for the flow pattern in a given case of IUGR is a very important question. One is thoracic aorta, other is middle cerebral artery. Middle cerebral artery. So what happens if there is fetal hypoxemia? First of all, fetal brain should survive. So the fetal brain, the heart and the adrenal glands, there's an increased blood flow. Whereas extremities, splanchnic blood vessels, the blood flow decreases. And this is called arterial redistribution of the blood flow. And it serves to deliver the oxygen and nutrients to vital organs is what you need to remember. So we need to look for, when suspecting IUGR, for the presence of arterial redistribution is what you need to remember. Now, 1-2 comments about each of these vessels. Middle cerebral artery, in the fetal head, transverse fetal head position, you can demonstrate. 28 to 32 weeks, there will be high systolic velocities and minimal diastolic velocities with the high PI values more than 1.45 MCA. In fetal hypoxia, the vascular tone is increased in the MCA, and that will cause an increased diastolic velocity. Normally, there is minimal diastolic velocity, but increased diastolic velocity, and there's a reduction of the pulsatility index value in the middle cerebral artery of the fetus, which is an indication that there's a redistribution of the flow to the brain, to the heart, and away from the splanchnic vasculature. So this is how, doctor, you will recognize middle cerebral artery. So once there is hypoxia, there is a cerebral vasodilatation. So if you look for the flow pattern here, typically in IUGR, the flow pattern will show a low pulsatility index in the middle cerebral artery is what you have to emphatically remember. So this is a typical reversal of the MCA pulsatility index. Splanchnic vessels pulsatility index decreases, whereas here the pulsatility index because of the vasodilatation in the MCA it decreases, in the splanchnic vessels it increases, PI. So that is the most important thing that need to be remembered. So this is a normal MCA, this is a normal umbilical. So this is an indication of head death, whereas this is splanchnic. If there is a IUGR, what will happen? There's a decreased pulsatility index here and an increased pulsatility index over splanchnic vessels. So if you look at the fetal thoracic aorta, so this is the fetal thoracic aorta another important vessel where you look for the flow pattern. Then how about the venous Doppler? Where will you look for the venous flow pattern? Ductus venosus is the main vessel through which oxygenated blood, which is returning from the placenta, is directed to the fetal heart. If there is a fetal hypoxia, number one, umbilical artery shows abnormal waveforms, and there is arterial redistribution, and there is also a redistribution of this highly oxygenated umbilical vein through the ductus venosus to the fetal heart. And that is the reason abnormal ductus venosus flow pattern also is a very important indicator of the intrauterine growth retardation, is what you need to basically remember. So this is umbilical vein, doctor, and this is the ductus venosus, this is the hepatic vein, and this is the fetal heart. Okay, so this is a normal pattern of the ductus venosus waveform, and here you can see the reversal of the flow, which is an abnormal pattern of the ductus venosus. So that is in summary the story of umbilical arteries, umbilical vein, ductus venosus, redistribution of the pattern, early diastolic notch, changes in the pulsatility index. Now you are ready to face any damn MCQ asked on the Doppler wherever you go. Right, Doc? So I leave all this literature for you in the PowerPoint in the onlinemmbbs.com video library. Take every chance to subscribe to onlinemmbbs.com. Now, doctor, umbilical artery, umbilical circulation, Doppler studies. Number one, changes in the flow velocity waveforms in the umbilical artery are very important in the clinical management of high-risk pregnancy. Absolutely. Normal pregnancy shows a decrease in systolic to diastolic ratio, S/D ratio, with advancing gestational age. Metal smoking leads to increase in S/D ratio, and absence of end-diastolic flow is abnormal as much as the reversal of the flow is what you have to remember. So that is all the story, doctor. एक बार कॉन्सेप्ट्स के ऊपर होल्ड आ गया तो it's a cakewalk. So totally, doctor, there are 30,000 MCQs. Once more, any teacher will tell you the same. 6 question banks. पूरा भारत में 6 question banks is everything, anything. Entrance is not a last year, 2 years, not a young phenomenon. Last 20 years, we had been looking at the entrance exam. So, AIMS, All India / NEET PG, PGI, JIPMA, FMGE, DNB. So DNB is not there. DNB question bank is one of the very original question banks. 6,000 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 36,000 questions, but original unique questions will be not more than 20,000. Some way or other, if we all can sit together and discuss every day evening like this, these 20,000 questions together, and every day make up the mind that, oh, these are the learning gaps I need to cover. So you make up that and go back to the video library of online MBBS and do revision, more extensive revision. But get inspired in 6 to 8 sessions that we conduct. Now, also be part of incus.live, where you have groups. Under the groups, subject of anatomy, physiology, different groups are there. In that, all the 1500 to 2000 questions in each of the subject are made available along with the key. And keep punching your answers, extra points you add, and many other friends also will add. That's how you become, you'll be championing most of the concepts. Menopause. 45-year-old women with hot flush after stopping of menstruation. Hot flush can be relieved. Our favorite general practitioner, अगर आप है तो गली में practice कर रहे हैं तो, if you don't know how to handle simple things, you can never be able to get a take off. Like managing a headache of a housewife, backache of a housewife, neck pain of a software engineer. Simple things, all lifestyle disorders. Similarly, menopausal hot flushes or a dysmenorrhea in a college-going student or a PCOD in a college-going student. If you don't know how to treat, but if you treat, wow, you're a god, right? So, typically, the hot flush can be relieved by the administration of ethinyl estradiol, because all flushes are because of estrogen deficiency. So, tibolone, isoflavones, etc., they're all being used. Now, in the treatment, gabapentin, paroxetine, venlafaxine, even you may end up in using even antidepressants to manage the menopausal symptoms. So what are hot flushes due to? They are all due to the deficiency of estrogen. Hormone replacement therapy will help to manage the osteoporosis and improve the bone density, is what you should remember. If you give estrogen and progesterone, what is the risk? So typically there is a risk of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, both of them. Now, different presentations, abnormal presentations. All babies are known to born by vertex, but transverse lie, breech presentation, predisposing factors, everything, anything, this is the favorite topic of the examiner. So, breech presentation, what are associated with breech presentation? Normal full-term pregnancy. यूटेरस से कमरा है डॉक्टर, मेडिकल कॉलेज में हॉस्टल में कमरा है ना, वैसे कमरा है. It is a room. Anything that decreases the space of this room, instead of a duplex villa, if you are staying in a single bedroom, what will happen? You have to adjust and sleep. So also, anything that compromises the space inside the uterus predisposes to abnormal presentation at the time of labor. So, fetal malformations, uterine anomalies, corneal implantation of the placenta, they're all the predisposing factors. So, one of the favorite questions, you need to be very sure. Abnormal amniotic fluid volume, high parity with uterine relaxation, prior breech delivery, hydrocephalus, anencephaly, pelvic tumors, uterine anomalies, multifetal gestation, early gestational age, placenta previa, and a fundal implantation of the placenta. They're all the risk factors which are predisposing, is what you need to remember. What is the commonest variety of compound presentation? Head with a hand is the most common. Assisted head delivery has to be done if there is any persistent occipito-posterior position. So an image like this will be given and the examiner will ask you, what is the position of the vertex? Occiput typically कहाँ है? Posterior है. Right में है, left में नहीं है. So right occipito-posterior. You should recognize an image-based question. Okay. So right occipito-posterior position. What is the engaging diameter? Almost, you go to MRCP, USMLE, or any exam in the world, this is a common question. Occipito-posterior position, what is the engaging diameter? Suboccipito-frontal diameter. So you should know, doctor, suboccipito-bregmatic, 9.5 centimeters, when the vertex is flexed. Suboccipito-frontal, 10.5 centimeters, if it is a partially deflexed. Occipito-frontal, 11.5 centimeters, if it is a deflexed vertex. Mento-vertical, very long, 14 centimeters, if it is a bro presentation, bro. Submento-bregmatic presentation, diameter 9.5 centimeters, and face presentation. Submento-vertical is 11.5, and the face is not yet fully extended. Doctor, if any topper tells you a false story that because I'm a genius, I got to see. Yes, sir. बट्टी बट्टी मारने का बहुत चीजें होते हैं. जो बट्टी मारना है, बट्टी मारना ही पड़ेगा. एल्बर्ट आइंस्टीन हो, आइजैक न्यूटन हो, जो भी हो. Right? You are going to promise me. So these values by heart, you should remember until exam. Right? मैं प्रिवेंटिव मेडिसिन में बहुत वैल्यूज बताता हूं आपको. इसका इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड कितना है, वहां क्लोरिनेशन लेवल कितना है. अरे वो देखो सैंड फिल्टर में सैंड पार्टिकल का साइज कितना है. You should read. You have to. There is no other go. विटामिन डी का इंटरनेशनल यूनिट्स कितना है. What is the required daily elements of folic acid? Even if you remember that, I may ask you, black bag, blue bag, yellow bag, which bag, what type of waste. But you should learn to enjoy, right? Every transition of life, every moment of life gives you a kind of a pleasure, which once you pass that moment, only nostalgically you need to look back. So Dr. PG preparation time also is a very pleasurable time. If you look at many people who topped the entrance, they're all basically happy minds. Remember, the one who is anxious, nail-biting, worried about with peptic ulcers, no, that's not the personality we want as postgraduates. We want a happy guy, comfortable guy, cool guy, because tomorrow you're all going to be consultants, taking decisions in the lives of people. So the most common breech presentation primary gravida is frank breech. Frank, if you are too frank, you will let. If any of your friends will tell, no, please be frank with me. Yeah, definitely. What I mean by frank? My knees are extended, my hips are extended, and I will expose the perianal area, that is Mr. Frank. Whereas complete breech means there is a flexion. And this is the footling breech. You should know how to recognize. So this is a typical baby you can see who is being born in a typical frank breech position is what you are able to see. Now, highest rate of transmission of the toxoplasma, you see it in third trimester. Highest risk of fetal infection in first trimester किसको होता है? Rubella. Minimal teratogenic risk. Rubella, varicella, CMV, all of them are known, but not HIV. HIV पैदा होने के बाद मारेगा. ये सब fetal life में ही abnormal बनाएगा. Non-immune hydrops fetalis is caused by parvovirus. Now a 39-year-old, VDRL RPR is being performed and it is positive, so she is having syphilis. So what is the best pharmacotherapy for her? From the days of Alexander Fleming, penicillin is the king of chemicals to kill the Treponema pallidum. Syphilis causes stillbirths. Now, carcinoma vulva. Sentinel lymph node biopsy is most useful for which cancer? For the carcinoma vulva. The most common cause of vulval carcinoma. Any day, human papillomavirus infection is the common cause, whether it is carcinoma cervix or carcinoma vulva. Sentinel lymph node biopsy. Not only vulva, even melanoma, breast carcinoma, also axillary lymph nodes. Sentinel lymph nodes are the ones which are being tested. The most common histopathological variety of carcinoma vulva. Keep punching the answers, doctor. Please keep punching the answers. Squamous cell carcinoma. Squamous cell carcinoma. So this is the typical squamous cell carcinoma presenting like a glistening lesion of the vulva, and histology of the squamous cell carcinoma of the vulva is what you should remember. Sarcoma botryoidis. What is true? So you should remember, it is also called embryonal rhabdomyosarcoma is the other name. It arises from the vagina, and it can be, presents with blood-stained watery vaginal discharge. It does not arise from vagina, and it can be treated with VAC regime. Now let us talk about it. Embryonal rhabdomyosarcoma, which is the other name given for the sarcoma botryoidis, it is the most common malignant tumor of the genital tract in the girls. And mostly it arises from the submucosa of cervix. 90% of cases occur before the age of 5, and the peak incidence is at 2 years of age. Pinkish, grape-like, polypoidal, soft growth arising from cervix is the presenting feature. And a blood-stained, watery vaginal discharge is the main symptom. You do chest X-ray, CT scan for the initial staging. What is VAC regime? V, vincristine, A, actinomycin, C, cyclophosphamide, followed by surgery is considered to be the treatment of choice. It has a poor prognosis, recurrence is very common, is what you need to basically remember. So like this, doctor, you have to make your own handwritten 10-15 points on every topic out of 953 topics. If you still did not have the 953 topics, please call our helpline 9000 868 356. Right? Now, the next topic is HIV. So today, as I told you, we have a short session of only 1 hour. If chance is there, night once more, we will have one more review. I'm not sure, but I'll try. So, short retroviral regime in the peripartum period. What is the effect of it on the vertical transmission? It decreases the vertical transmission to the fetus by almost 50%. So what are the various recommended measures to prevent mother-to-child transmission of HIV? Heart therapy, elective cesarean, intrapartum zidovudine is considered to be the treatment of choice. Now, avoid breastfeeding. Then intrapartum zidovudine is very much advocated. Cesarean is preferred compared to vaginal delivery. Then there are few facts. Majority of the fetuses are not infected even without any intervention. That is a good news about it. The risk of the mother to child transmission can be reduced if you do elective cesarean. And also it is the status of infection, how advanced it is in the mother is an important determining factor. So most of the transmission occur at the time of birth, intrapartum. So maximally, when does it happen? During third trimester is the maximum transmission of HIV. So doctor, with that, let us take a alvida for today, and I hope you all are sufficiently ignited. So this entire week we will finish obstetrics and gynecology. We had been studying since last 2 weeks. By 21st, we will finish 3 weeks of gynecology and obstetrics. Almost all 800 to 900 questions, which are most important concept-based questions. Then after that, we will start surgery. So for the complete schedule of our evening free YouTube live broadcasted sessions for the next 26 weeks, please visit onlinembbs.com. Good night and keep yourself safe in these days of COVID and Corona.